Been asked more times than hot dinners, what's the best kind of silver or gold to buy? And it's a pretty hard question to answer, but I'm going to give it a good go and share some of my thoughts and opinions on what I think is the best thing to buy right now and what I am personally buying for my silver and gold stack. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for another precious metal ramble. Now, one of the most commonly asked questions that I get is, what is the best kind of silver or gold that I should be buying right now? And I both love it and have a sense of trepidation when I get asked these questions, because the answer is so subjective to one's own personal financial circumstances and preferences for risk. So there are a whole host of different answers that you could give for that. I hope today to be able to shed a few insights on my own thinking as to what is right for me in my circumstances, some of the pros and cons between silver and gold, and then things like Britannia. Should you buy the 2023 Britannia with the Queen's effigy on? That's one of the big questions that I guess get asked right now. The short answer is, unfortunately, there is no answer. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're sitting on the fence, not giving a real answer. But it really does come down to this question of what is right for an individual in their own financial circumstances and how much risk you're willing to take. So without further ado, let's dive in and have a good old ramble about what might be the best thing to do. I do want you to bear in mind this is not financial advice, and I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on this subject as well. So please feel free to comment down below and hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying our little discussion about gold and silver. So, as I said, one of the most commonly asked questions is about gold. Actually, gold versus silver. Let's start there. We have some gold, we have some silver on the table. I often get asked what's better. Now, it is going to be dependent on your location, because geography does play a big part in that. For the UK, VAT on silver, it basically makes it non-competitive for kind of relatively short term. If you want to buy something, hold it for a year, you might be a bit subjective to the price premium hike. And I've done videos on that in the past about how you might be able to sell at the best prices, but generally speaking, gold is best for that. So that's one of the major ways that I look at my stacking strategy going forwards. If it's money that I've got budgeted for, which is this long-term money pot, if it's something that I don't need to touch for 20, 30 years, then fine, I'm happy to put it in silver. But if it's something that perhaps I want to just, we're going through a really uncertain period right now in the world, and I think that having some extra gold in your stack relative to what perhaps you had before is not inherently a bad idea. And even though buying some of this gold right now with pounds isn't great, and you're looking at some of the prices per ounce for these Britannias from the Royal Mint at really quite high prices, it doesn't matter to me, because I do feel that we're in this uncertain, crazy maelstrom of world events right now, and it's only going to get crazier. So to have that is a good thing. So that's where I think I would start. Now, in terms of what's kind of best in terms of what types, that's so difficult to answer because there are just so many different things. You can go for just chunky silver bars. Something like this huge Mercor bar, bought second-hand off the Silver Forum without the VAT, without the sales tax, was about £650. Great price. Brilliant piece of silver to just have. But it has its limitations. It's not going to necessarily appreciate with premium. It is just a lump of giant silver. You have to sell it to somebody who's got that much money. So perhaps you might want to think about having smaller denomination silver. So go for coins. But of course, then the question comes about premiums on this stuff, because when you start buying Britannias or Eagles or even Queen's Beasts and Tudor Beast coins, they come with a humongous premium on them. The other day I showed this humongously stunning Kilo Britannia. I paid over £1,000 for it. That's £33 an ounce, nearly double spot price at the time of purchase. That's a lot for a bullion coin. Now, some of that is tax, of course, don't forget, but, it is that liability. Could I sell it tomorrow for that much money? Maybe, but probably going to struggle. Maybe right now, because this is an interesting coin to have with the Queen's effigy on it for 2023. But it's something that you need to factor in that is going to be a lock-up style affair because of that premium. So if you have this sort of strategy to get smaller denomination coins, then do think about how and where you're going to buy them from. If you can get them secondhand, great. If you can buy these Silver Eagles like in America right now, Silver Eagles are absolutely mental with their premiums on top. If you can find somewhere, somehow, them selling for a significantly lower premium, then perhaps they are a good buy. And you have that cushion if you want to look to perhaps sell them. Even some of the big dealers right now are offering $10 an eagle over spot price, which is a very good price. But when you factor in they're selling them for like $20 over spot price, you could argue that you might be able to go through the middleman approach and get a really much better price for your buck. Now, the other thing to factor in is regarding UK is capital gains tax exemption. So one of the best things that you can do is to factor in the capital gains exemption status of coins. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of doomsday sayers that will say, oh, well, that capital gains status exemption could just disappear tomorrow. Yeah, theoretically it could. Is it likely to happen? No. So for me, I do feel like if I've got a budget for a 1 ounce gold coin, if say I've got £1,500 that's come in and I want to put it into some gold, and I've got this option of buying something that's capital gains tax exempt or something that's not, for me, I think right now capital gains exemption is a good thing to have. That said, it's not meaning that non-capital gains exempt coins are bad. You can have them, and a lot of people have this misunderstanding about capital gains, and I'm not going to try and explain it in the short space of a few seconds on a video, but nuts and bolts, you can still sell non-capital gains exempt coins and not have to pay capital gains. It's about how many you sell and how much profit you make in any given year. But the point is that it helps. If you've got a larger stack, then you've got to think about these things. So from that perspective, gold, capital gains exempt gold is probably one of the best things to do. However, for silver, of course, it's probably better because you've got this potential profit margin on a 1 ounce coin being maybe £10-15 if you have silver go up £6-7 an ounce plus premium. However, if gold goes up, a couple of £100 an ounce, all it takes will be a smaller amount of gold to sell to have those higher profit numbers coming in. So definitely something to think about there. Now, in terms of how much gold and silver, I get asked that in conjunction with a lot as well. I've had, in fact, a lot more emails of late. I think it's only natural with the way that the world is right now for people being concerned about money, inflation, interest rates. Is silver a good thing to buy when interest rates are going up? So traditionally, no. Silver and gold would go down when interest rates go up. But what I think is happening is the market is kind of pricing in the fact that these huge and very fast interest rate rises are going to have basically a recessionary effect. And what happens in a recession is the gold and silver will go up. It's a safe haven. So whilst we're seeing these interest rate rises right now, I do feel like the price that we've got for our gold and silver and the reflected nature of the price rises this week is very much that we have some hard times ahead. There is some recessionary based hard times coming ahead as well, which is not going to be great for a lot of people. So definitely having some gold and silver would be a good idea. Now, that's not to say that you're going to have this huge jump up in the price of gold and silver over the course of this next few years. There are a lot of people who will say that silver is going to go up to high highs because of the recession. I do think a lot of what we're seeing right now is priced into various markets. That's not to say it won't happen, but definitely something to factor in if you're looking to buy. So basically it comes down to preference and personal circumstances. Now, if you have sort of a significant bankroll behind you, or you've got some savings, or you just are a high income earner and you want to diversify that portfolio, there are a whole host of different questions you need to ask yourself. What do you want to get out of these coins? That's the thing that I'll always go back to people and say, are you here to just flip it and make some money? If you are, probably best not to go into this market. It's really very difficult to do. If you're wanting something that will, I think, be a really great place to put money for the future, to have something that's real and physical, then silver and gold are great, but certainly not to be underestimated with their risk. And risk is the last part of the video that I want to talk about, because silver and gold are often touted as this safe haven asset, as something that is secure and safe and will, see you through hard times. But that's not necessarily true. And certainly right now with rising interest rates, it's proving to be quite interesting for the various different other markets out there. Now, traditionally when interest rates go up, you find a lot of these big institutions will put money into government bonds and things that just pay a yield, an interest rate yield. That's why silver and gold tend to go down when interest rates go up, and that shouldn't be ignored by us silver stackers on a small scale. Putting money into silver and gold is a risk. It's something that is not easy to get the money out of at the right price. Yes, you can just sell it for spot anytime, but that risk does need to be evaluated by everybody's individual circumstances, and it's not to be ignored. It's one of the single reasons why I see a lot of people losing money on gold and silver. And I do get equal amounts of comments from people going, have you, and you being anybody reading these comments, I guess, in the comment sections, ever made money on gold and silver? Well, yes, I have. I've sold gold and made profits on it. I've sold silver and made profits on it. But, of course, there are parts of my stack which I haven't sold because I am in the red with them. This big silver Britannia at over £1,000 bought for it. It's in the red right now. I haven't sold it, so I haven't made a profit on it. Am I likely to get that money out of it in a short-term flip? Possible, but if I needed the cash right now, I'd be much better suited to sell one of the gold Britannias and get that premium back. The few sort of 3% premiums that I paid for it back out of it very, very quickly. So definitely factor in risk. And if you really do want to have that sort of risk portfolio, then my own strategy is not necessarily about putting everything in bullion. I have collectible coins, and that's kind of what this Britannia is here as well. Whilst this isn't a proof coin, it's not something that will necessarily have a huge collector value. It's got an air of intrigue to it with the Queen's effigy on the back, and that for me has more value than just the cost of the coin, and that is something that I'm risking my capital on and my ability to perhaps get some additional cash out of this at the other end. And I have no qualms and no shame in saying that a lot of this stuff, I will be trying to sell at some point for a profit. Will I get that profit? On some I might, on some I might not. And that's definitely something to think about for some people. I would like to think that my stack is probably one of the most diverse silver and gold stacks out there. I have pretty much bits of everything. I have coins, I have chunky bars, I have proof coins, I have bullion coins with a collector nature to them, and I have just, as you can see, generic eagles, which I don't mind touching and feeling and enjoying. It's everything, and I think that's, for me, the best way forward, just to have a finger in every pie to really kind of get an idea of what fits you best is, I think, a good thing. But that is not to be done without a little bit of forethought and foresight, because, as I said, the risk is there, and people don't often understand or appreciate that risk can do them harm in the long run. So, those are my thoughts and opinions on it. I hope that's kind of answered some questions. I mean, I know there'll be inevitably some people in the comment section who go, "You didn't answer the question." It's because there is no answer, and that's, I think, the important thing to finish the video. So if you are in the BYB Rambling Society and you're a Cool Kid Club member watching to the 13th minute, thank you. And you get it. You understand that there is no answer to this. It's important to have perspective and to see what is right for individuals in their own circumstances. And I hope to hear from you down in the comment section, you Cool Kids Club members. It's always great to have you. And if you're not if you're not subscribed and you're watching to this point in the video, then what are you doing? Get in the club, hit that subscribe button. That's it from me. A big thank you to you all for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Oh, here's a little sneaky peek for others out there in the BYB Rambling Society. We've got the first gold Yale of Beaufort that's come in. It's really kind of cool. It's the 1/4 ounce gold. We'll be showing it, I'm sure, at some point in the near future, so watch out for that. But very cool coin that's just come in today. That's it from me. We'll see you next time. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.